you find yourself one of those people that are basically disciplined, or do you think that you're one of those people that flaps around when it comes down to priorities and scheduling orders of, what you should or shouldn't do? I found myself years ago in a situation where I was doing business development with a huge overlay team, product management, marketing, engineering, and a sales overlay team. And I was pulled in all sorts of directions, and I just couldn't prioritize what I was doing. So basically what I decided to do is I scheduled or prioritized what I should or shouldn't do based on who's less likely to fire me. And so the people that I thought that would fire me if I did something that, or didn't do the job that they wanted, I would do their work first, which is a bit of a dumb way of doing it, but it's kind of self-preservation. What I found was that a boss of mine at the time, a guy called Edmundo Costa, and this was back in about 98, I think it was, something like that. He came to talk to me and said, look, here's a suggestion for you. Take a quiet moment and write down all of the things that you've got going on, both personal and business, from a priority perspective. And then when you've written them down, put them in a spreadsheet, tab it down, basically not a huge amount, just a sentence. And then once you've put them all down on the list, then prioritize the list. So in other words, shift the orders. And so you've kind of got a top 10 and then you've got other. Do that by the end of the week, as I say, on a Friday. And then on Monday, you just come in simply and crack from number 1 down to number 10. And he also said, and do me a favor, on Friday when you do this, send me the list, because then I can kind of figure out what you're doing and see if there's anything that I might want to adjust, right? And so I did it. And what I found really interesting, and I will challenge you on this, is that I figured that I knew exactly what the priority order of the stuff that I was doing was necessary. In other words, what was number 1, what was number 2, what was number 3. And I put personal stuff down. It could have been things like, file your tax returns, got insurance issues, whatever. But anyway, I mentally put it down, and I kind of put it onto paper in exactly what I thought the order and priority order was. And the shocking thing was that order, I changed it hugely. So number 1, that was a shocker for me. Number 2 is, if I did it by the end of the week, what I found is I felt like at the weekend, I kind of had my weekends back, because I wasn't winding down on Saturday and then winding back up on Sunday. What I was actually doing was relaxing through the weekend, recharging a bit more, knowing that on Monday, I can just simply pick this list up and then start whacking at it. And then the third thing, from a self-preservation standpoint, or at least, my side was, I was worried about making sure I don't let other people down. By delivering it to my boss, it removed the fear that I was doing the wrong thing in my job. No one was going to come in and say, what the hell were you doing? Because he then had a chance to turn around to me and say, that's not right, shift here, do these things. And I still find myself suggesting this to people who are not flappy people, right? I mean, so this isn't a, if you use this, then therefore you're weak. But anyway, I'm gonna, one story I'll tell you about this is a gentleman called Scott Musson. I bumped into him in Boulder, Colorado. We were working for WebLogic Portal, and my office backed onto his office, and he was running an engineering facility for us, and he had a punch bag in his office. One time I was sitting in my office, and literally I was completely distracted because there was just this huge noise of the wall shaking. So I went to talk to him about it, and basically he had got to a position where he had so many things going on, he literally couldn't see, the wood for the trees. And so I suggested to him exactly what I just described to you, which is put a list together, get your priorities, make sure it's both personal and business, and then just park it. And I said, don't give it to me, just do your thing. And he didn't. And he did his thing, and he carried on with it. And he basically said to me afterwards, it's really helped him because he's not taking his problems home. And I think that the thing that really struck home to me is months later, we were at a barbecue, a company event, and a woman walked up to me and said, "Hey, I just want to thank you." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I'm Scott Musson's wife, and I just want to tell you that I've got my husband back. We now, he's present at the weekend." Don't be worried about putting lists together, prioritize it. Also, don't worry about mixing personal and business priorities, because I think it's critical to make sure that you have both of those two parts covered. Hope the story is interesting to you. Another little quick hack. I use it all the time. Bye-bye.